Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Bergrun and I am a reader, a writer and a singer. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, got a parcel sent to me from back home in Iceland. 3 boxes full of books. And I am so excited. I have been waiting for these books for 5-6 years. When I opened it, I made a reaction video of opening it, but stupidly, I didn't turn on my mic, so there was no sound at all. So that first reaction is a big flop. You have no idea how disappointed I am. But this is my second reaction and I want to take you along with me and also maybe see if we can fit it into my bookcase. But I doubt it because this is a lot of books and I don't have a lot of space, so we kind of have to feel ourselves around it. Feel ourselves, that is such a bad way of saying that. We have to figure it out, okay? But first off, I want to start with this box here. Oh, you can't see it, but it's huge. It's not even full of books because I took some out earlier and there are a few here on the side. It's still super heavy. I want to start out with my favorite series. They are called The Story of the Ice People and it is a 47 book series. I read this when I was 12 and there is spice in it. I'm rereading it right now. I'm on the second book. They're really short. They're only about 200-ish pages, 200 to 300. Currently the spice is about a paragraph, if so it's not very in-depth, but it does go further in to spice because my favorite book, I can't remember which one it is, but there is a demon that is situated into one of the girls' room and they kind of find the liking to each other. And he has a massive... these are the first 2 books, for example. They are in Icelandic. These are originally a Norwegian series from a Norwegian author called Margit Sandemo. This was published in the 80s, 1982, these 2 books, and they're still my favorite. They have a really strong smell. I love it. Let me show you the whole thing. The first half of the series, and this is the second half of the series. I think this is one of the longest ones. This one here, for example, very, very short. This is only 160 pages or so. 170 pages. Very short, but the best. If I had to choose a favorite series, is this one, because this one has always been in the back of my mind for the last 15 years. That's crazy. And this whole series was gifted to me by my grandmother right before she passed away. So they're really near and dear to my heart and I absolutely love them. It spans the story of this family for 400 years and they're all fighting the same villain that made a deal with the devil and got a curse put on the family about 300 years prior to the first book. And yeah, spans from the 1580s, ends in the 1980s, where they finally fix everything and defeat the devil or something. It's been a while. Margit Sandemo, this author, wrote 2 different series. They're not similar. Well, they are kind of similar, but they do kind of go in with each other. I believe this happens in Germany, I want to say, but it has a bit of a link to the Ice People. This is a 12-book series. I believe there isn't any more. I think that's the whole series. Then there's another one that actually happens in Iceland. I did have the whole series for this. I don't know where the other ones are. Currently I only have between 6 and 10, but there is 15 books in this series. It's called Galdrameistaren, or the Warlock. So, and it's about an Icelandic warlock and his ventures and learning to become a warlock, etc. And it is also linked with the other 2 series. And like, I read all of this in about like the 47 books I read in a year when I was 12. Getting them back in my hands is literally, it was such a great, amazing feeling. I can't even explain it. There are other books. I have 2 manga books in Icelandic. I had a whole first series of a different one. I don't know where that is. It's in none of my boxes. So I do believe that I am missing quite a bit from here. But I have here, these are in English. This one is in the Zebra Regency Romance, and this one is in Berkeley Sensation Historical Romance. I absolutely love historical romance, even though I don't read it a lot. But they're called A Tangled Web by Donna Bell and An Unexpected Gentleman by Alyssa Johnson. I remember reading these. I can't really remember what they're about, but I remember loving them. Then I have John Grisham, The Racketeer. Never read it. I might give it away. Then I also have A Week in Winter by Maeve Binchy. I've never read this either, but I'm not sure if I will or if I'll give it away. And then I have a few John Green books. I have Looking for Alaska. I don't think I actually read this one. Still has a sticker on it. Costs £7.49 from the Book Warehouse. And then I have Paper Towns by John Green. I think I did read this one. Obviously loved it because I love John Green. And then I have The Fault in Our Stars. Of course. I read this basically in one sitting overnight, and I cried at the end of it. It was really heartbreaking for my teenage heart. Then I have this. I think I did read this, called Charm and Strange by Stephanie Kuhn. Only 2 people knew my secret. I saw them both die. Very interesting. I will keep this. Okay, that is one box finished. I'm gonna drag this one toward me. It's the same size box. I'm not gonna lift it up. Even though this is not my first reaction, I absolutely love this. So this is just like a little short story in a magazine type format. I just bought it in a supermarket because I was obsessed with, it's called the Red series, which is like a romance series. There were doctor romance, there was cop romance, there was, I don't know, like farm romance, like different tropes in this like massive series. My grandmother used to be the one that gave me the Ice People, used to be subscribed to these books, and I sometimes got books from her to read, and they're spicy. Like, my grandmother was lending this to me when I was like 12, 13, 14. We ain't ashamed. It was amazing. But this one is called in English, like, look at how it's like double columned. But this is called Private SWAT Takeover. In Icelandic, it's Sérsveitarmaðurinn. But this was good. I remember being obsessed with it, and I was looking in one of the, I got loads of other shit with the books as well, and I did some drawing when I was younger, and I drew this guy because I was that obsessed. I also have here Game of Thrones in Icelandic. I only ever read the first book in Icelandic. I actually never got into it, even though I love the show. In Icelandic it's called Krúnuleikar. But I also have my partner the whole series in English, and my brother gifted me this set of the Game of Thrones as well, so I have quite a lot of versions of it. And then I have the whole series of this. I don't know where the rest is, but Twilight in Icelandic, I want the rest of them. I swear I had them. Not sure where they are, but I devoured this at the time. And then I have the Divergent series in English, but I am missing the 3rd book. Yeah, but I'm missing the 3rd book, even though I have it. This was all supposed to be in these boxes, so I'm not sure where they are, to be completely honest with you. I have no idea what series this is, but it looks good, so I will read it. But it's called, what is the series called? I don't know what the series is. Oh, the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop. So we have Queen of the Darkness, Queen of the Shadows and Queen of the Blood. I don't know what they're about, but I will find out when I read them and I will let you guys know. And then I don't know why, because I've never read Dan Brown, but for some reason or other, I have 4 Dan Brown books. I have The Da Vinci Code in Icelandic. I have Black Ingaleikur. The original title is The Deception Point. Týnda táknið. The original title is The Lost Symbol. And then I have Angels and Devils. Angels and Demons? Angels and Demons. And obviously has Tom Hanks on the front. I don't know why I have them. I remember buying a couple of them, but the other 2 I don't remember. So that's a mystery, as are a lot of these books. And then we have the first half of The Mortal Instruments. I want to reread this because I also have the newest series from this universe by Cassandra Clare. I really want to reread this because I remember reading these and they are in English. All this time, these 7.5 years that I have lived in England, because I brought it with me for whatever reason, I've had the last 3. So now I have the full set, even though I've just recently bought a different version of these. So now I have 2 versions of, but that's okay. Then I might give this away as well. You're Mine Now by Hans Koppel. Koppel is a Swedish thriller phenomenon. I'm not a thriller type of girl, so probably won't read it. To be completely honest with you. What is this? Yes. This book is called Big Little Lies. It is by Leanne Moriarty. It's in English. You hit me, now you have to kiss me. A schoolyard chant. Interesting. With love to Margaret. Penguin Books was released in 2014 in Australia. It has no cover, has no nothing. So, Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, if you want to look it up, see what it's about, because I have no idea. Then I have another one. Oh my god, I forgot it was in there. This is probably one of my favorite books as well. It is called Dætur Regnbogans, which means Daughters of the Rainbow, by an Icelandic author called Birgitta H. Halldórsdóttir. It is about an Icelandic woman in, I want to say, the 1700s, and she falls for an English merchant or fisherman, and there's scandal, and then she comes back and other things. She has a child out of wedlock. This is a beautiful book, so beautifully written. The story is just mesmerizing. I wish everyone could read this, but I don't think it has ever been translated to English. This is an old book. It was released, doesn't even have a release date on it, 1992. It's 32 years old, this book. Oh, and then I have The Princess Diaries 1 and 2 in Icelandic, as you do, because I love these. From England, had it sent to me via post to Iceland, the whole, or at the time, the whole Diana Gabaldon Outlander series. And I've never read them. I always told myself, you'll read them. You will read these. You'll read these. And then I never did, and then I moved to England and I left these behind, which is really sad. But I have them and I love the show. I bought the books because I love the show, so I will read them. They're a bit ruined, which is really sad, but we'll live and we learn. Oh no. Don't leave your other books in a different country when you move, okay? This is a children's book, so I'll keep this for my future children whenever they come. And this as well, when I opened the box and saw this book in here, I thought I would never see this book ever again. I read this when I was about 13, I think. Over the years, I always thought of this book and always thought, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. Did I imagine it? Did I read a book that I thought was amazing? It's kind of like a kid's horror thriller kind of book, and I always absolutely loved it and could never remember the name or by who it was. It's an Icelandic book. It was it got Children's Books Awards in 1997. So there's ghosts and everything in here. Oh, this is such a good book for a children's book. So good. I might actually read it again. It's short. It's only like 124 pages. I might read it. Hopefully I won't get nightmares because I don't do scary things. But I love this. Okay, and last box. Okay, so this is just a knitting book with loads of different knitting recipes. So maybe I'll start knitting soon, one day. And this is a book with just loads of different Icelandic songs. So it's just sheet music book with loads of different old Icelandic songs. But I love having this. I can maybe teach myself how to play on the piano. And then this is a recipe book from a restaurant. I got it gifted when I worked at a hotel. This is Grace's Guide, The Art of Pretending to be a Grown-Up. I might have to read this, to be honest. I am an adult and I don't like it. I don't do a good job of it. I don't really know how to, so maybe I can learn how to pretend. Even though I've been doing quite a good job so far, but sometimes it does go through the cracks, my childish side. We're almost finished. And then I have here by Robert Gigoni, Sá sem valdið hefur. It's a politic thriller. The original title is The Jurymaster. I might also give this away. I don't know. No, it's in Icelandic. I can't do that. Maybe those that are in Icelandic I can't give away, can I? No one's going to be able to read it out here. That's a shame. Oh, yes. I also have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I bought another one the other day, just second hand, because I wanted to try and rebind it. So I'll try and rebind this one. But this is The Hobbit that I bought when it was mandatory for me to read it in English class in college, because my teacher wanted to for us to read it and analyze it and understand what was happening, because it's really old English. And usually we would have read Of Mice and Men, but because the first Hobbit movie was coming out, my teacher was like, let's read The Hobbit, and then when the movie comes out we can all watch it together, which we did, and it was freaking amazing. Didn't understand a word from the book at the time. Well, I did, but I can't remember much because I was like, this English is really difficult. Even though I was good at English, I was a step too far, in my opinion. I sometimes struggled with Old Icelandic, and Icelandic is like my mother tongue, you know what I mean? So, but now we have a few Icelandic authors. I already have on my shelf 3 books by her, and then another author that I've never read before. This is 5 hardback books by the same author. As I said before, I don't really do much of thriller or crime books, like police officer crime novels. But this lady right here is an exception. And I always like to dip my toe into reading, even though I haven't done it in years, to read in Icelandic, because I mainly read and speak English, so my Icelandic is really bad right now. So reading a bit of Icelandic does help a lot, and just like reminding myself of where I'm from. So her name is Yrsa Sigurðardóttir, and this one is called DNA. All of these books have been translated into English, so you can always find them. Then we have Ég man þig, which is in English, I Remember You. And then we have Sogið, and then we have Brakið. I started this book and never finished it. And that was over 10 years ago. Maybe I'll start it again. And then Lie, or Lie, I think it would be in English. And then another crime novel by an Icelandic author called Arnaldur Indriðason, and this is called Skuggasund. So usually the Icelandic books that I buy are crime novels, but everything else is fiction and fantasy. Then I've never read this book by Andrew Davidson, and it's called Steindregin in Icelandic, and the original name is The Gargoyle. Never read it. Maybe I will. We'll see. And then I have The Perks of Being a Wallflower as well. Love this book. It has a special place in my heart, as well as the movie. And then I have Dying for Christmas, another like thriller book. This one is by Tammy Cohen. Never read it either. I don't know. And then here I have one of my favorites as well. This is by Victoria Holt, called Sjön der Jomfruen. In English, it is called The Legend of the Seventh Virgin. I remember reading this book, but I cannot remember what it's about. But I do know that I loved it, and it is really old. It is from... It was published in 1965. I love old books. I absolutely love them. I cannot even explain how much I love old books. They're a different level. And this is like historical romance as well. I believe it was. Yeah. And this also, this is from the Red series, just like the little paper one earlier. It's by Sigge Stark. This one is called Örlögin stocka spelen. Aw, my grandmother and granddad gave this to me. That says from grandpa and grandma to Bergrun Lilja, which is my name. The original name for this was Vem var den Skuldige? I don't know how to say that. I think it's in Danish. In Danish? Sigge Stark, I think that's Danish. Vem var den or no, it's not Danish. Norwegian? I don't know. Norwegian or Swedish, because I know Vem is not in Danish. I learned Danish, but I don't know how to speak it or understand it. But I would say, translating it to English, the name would be The Fates We Doubt, or The Fates the fates that are doubt, or deal the fates, deal the fates, something like that. Something about fates and dealing it out, and you have basically no control over it. This is not historical romance, but this was released in 1980, so quite old as well. Last one, Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma and Persuasion. Persuasion. I don't know how to say that word. Persuasion? I think that's right. But this is the last one. This has gone on for too long now, so I'm going to say bye. If you want to see me try and fit it into my bookcase, tune into the next video. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I hope to see you next time, where we try and fit it into my overfilled bookcase. Bye!